You guys have no idea how much I have thought about this question. See, I'm getting towards the end of my degree here in college, and I still have this question of what am I going to do after? On one hand, I'm earning a degree in a really in demand field with a great outlook on pay, work life balance, benefits, the works. But on the other hand, I know deep down that I have this passion in me. I've had it for over 10 years, and it's like, which do I choose? It's a classic question, but there's a reason it's so popular, and that's because it's really hard to answer. So that's why I'm taking the time to sort of solidify my thoughts and make an effort to do what I say. So here we go. When's the right time to chase your passion? And PSA, this is coming from a guy in college who really hasn't fully committed one way or another, but I have given this a lot of thought, and I think my perspective will be valuable to you. So, yeah, let's get on with it. I want to start this off by sharing something you all need to know about me, so here it goes. If money was no object, and I could have any career in the world, do you know what it'd be? YouTuber. I'd be a YouTuber. I would upload content that is important to myself and I think is beneficial to others to hear. And as a sidebar, that's what I'm trying to do on this channel. I'm dropping any limits in terms of theme, topic, niche, nothing like that from the ground up. And I want to see if it's feasible to make a channel where the only common denominator is me. Now, that's probably a tangent for another day, but what's important here is that when I'm talking about passion, there's no holds barred. I'm talking about what you truly want to be paid for, regardless of what value society assigns to it. You might see how, depending on the passion, that could seem impossible to live off of. I mean, what if your passion is dead or obscure languages? Just the connotation of a dead language screams irrelevancy. And if your passion is deemed irrelevant by society, how could you ever hope to make a living doing your passion? Well, I have some good news. In this day and age, it's becoming easier than ever to make a living off of what you love by drawing attention to it. In most cases, you have to put your entrepreneurial cap on if nothing comes up for a quick Google search for jobs, but plenty of people have made a living off of their passions by finding a way to sell what they make. Whether that's an object or a service, you can set up a store online to provide, for example, lessons on learning dead languages, their uses, or just cool things you can do with them. Whether that's teaching a course or creating a video, it is possible for you to make a living off it. Speaking of which, I'm also told that academia is a good option for the most dedicated, but you should really consider if you're ready to go into debt over it and do research for the rest of your life. And spoiler, this is not financial advice, this is just my 2 cents. Now, that's not all to say that you can just blindly follow your passion and just start making a living off it. Like I said, it takes hard work and dedication to do that. You can't predict how much time it's going to take, and in the end, no one has to pay you for what you do. But it is possible, and that should give you hope. Now, the main reason that I'm here to stop you from blindly pursuing your passion is because you need to have your needs met. And a secure and stable job will do that for you when passion can't. Hell, your passion may not make you any money for a vast amount of time, so you need to get by in the meantime. And as you know, there are some pretty major benefits when you consider having a traditional job. You have consistent pay, where you don't have to worry about wild increases or decreases in your pay that make you feel like one day you could just have no money, another day you could overspend and end up with less income the next day, so you're just screwed. And that's including paid sick leave, because we all know that if you're freelancing in some kind of way, then you're not going to be able to make consistent money unless you're always working. There's also things to worry about, like insurance, because heard that shit's expensive. A secure future is really big. You have investments that you want to make and retirement to worry about. So putting money aside can be very difficult when you're just sort of getting by and don't have something like a 401k that's offered by your employer. Um, Motivation is not a factor when you have a stable job because you get fired if you don't find the motivation to get up the next day. And also, people just have different levels of risk that they can take on at one time. Like, if you have kids, for example, like, you need to seriously consider if their needs are going to be met while you're pursuing your passion. So, ask yourself, are the things that I just listed worth risking right now for your passion? If the answer is yes, then here's what I have to say. Once you're in a stable position in your life, then you can make the move for your passion when you, one, have the mental energy to do it, and two, you actually have the time to make it a priority. Now, what people say is their stable, comfortable position is different because some people are totally comfortable living off a waiter's wage until their passion becomes their main thing. Others have higher standards of living, so during that time, you're going to have to put some money aside and work until you're able to get to that stable standard. But you need mental energy because otherwise, you can't fully devote yourself to your passion. You're going to be too tired to put your heart into it, which A, is just going to make you miserable, and B, is really going to stifle your progress on making your passion livable. And you also need time because, well, if you don't have enough time to put consistent effort towards your goals, you're never going to reach them. Now, the amount of time that you need will vary depending on how monetizable your passion is, so you need to figure out how much you need to work in a week to make progress. But if you really want something, I'm sure you're going to find a way to make it work. So, yeah, chase your passion when your career is stable, you have the mental energy, and you have the time for it. And I bet that you'll make it. Hope this helps. So, yeah, that's all I've got to say about when to chase your passion. This is something I've thought about for a really long time, and I've done a lot of polishing to it in my own head, talking to friends, talking to family members, and now I think it's time to start following my own advice, with the biggest trouble right now being the inconsistency in terms of busyness I have from week to week in college, but here we are. I'm dropping another YouTube video, trying to create the dream I want to live in, and, you know, I don't think I'm doing half bad. So, yeah, I'm gonna, leave the rest of this gameplay up for you guys, because I am just so confused as to how I died. Like, if you guys have any guesses, please leave them in the comments, because I was totally blindsided by this guy. I mean, it could have been that dude who was shooting at me from the very beginning in that cabin over there, and he rounded me, but I don't know. It was probably just some unlucky encounter. But yeah, shit's crazy. So anyway, I'll be seeing you guys later, I guess. I'm gonna keep the streak going. So stay tuned and see you later.